It's a very old planning, so that's why you have very small roads and winding, and so you can see the terrain of the city, very hilly, many hills, and small. It's like small mountains, and yeah. So this is how it looks. Most residents use cars to get around. You can see a lot of small cars here. The reason being it's not much place for parking and very narrow, tiny streets, especially inside the city center. So many people use the smart here, the small Fiat. Yeah. So because that's the only way, and also many scooters. So scooters. They also have inside the city some public transportation like bus, and also have metro. But yeah, depending on who is going where, most residents, I would say, would use uh, just cars. And then yeah, of course you have taxis here. That's one of the other things some of the residents use, taxi service. And well, of course you will see some of the big touring buses as well, like ours, which will get inside to the area of the Colosseum. Okay, so first drive normally would take us about 30-40 minutes depending on the traffic here. It is not as easy to get around with the coach actually than with the small cars, because many roads we cannot use. There is a special permit that we have for this bus, only to take us in, drop us off, and then later on in the Vatican, once we finish up today's program, we'll be picked up by Mario, and then we drive out from the city, which will be in the afternoon around 4 o'clock. So we spend our day tour starting from the Colosseum. We're going to meet our local guide. His name is Rival. He's one of the best guides from Rome, so you feel very happy if you have him, because he's very good in explaining all the details and all the interesting things about Rome. And of course, he's also going to be the guide for going into the Vatican Museum and the Sistine Chapel. Also, there is one thing that I have to tell you guys. We are all ready with the dressing. It's very good, so thank you for listening, because then everyone gets to go inside. Nobody stays out. And also there is one thing that they changed in this year with the Vatican Museum security. So I have to explain you this. I will need 3 people of the group who join a separate group for the Vatican tour. It's the same thing, we'll go in the same time, so you don't have to worry about anything. The only problem is they only let in 30 people at the same time as a group. So I will need 3 volunteers, anyone can join. If you are doing the same thing in the same time, the group will be in front or after you, after this group, so you will finish up in the same time. So you let me know, guys, whoever wants to do that. But it's the same experience, so you don't miss anything. But if you don't find 3 volunteers, I will give 3 people the chance to join the second group. But it's the same tour you're doing in the same time, so basically you don't have to change nothing of your schedule. It's the only way to get us in all together. Yeah. So the time is the same also for getting in. Okay, so I already arranged everything for you guys, but unfortunately every year they make some changes that we have to try and keep up with. So this is something out of my control. Of course, I would like to have everyone in the same time, in the same group, but no worries. Okay, so first part of the day, we're doing the walking tour, and we start from the Colosseum. We will arrive to the Colosseum, and then we get off. We have also the time there to take photos. Of course, you want the best shots of the Colosseum, and then from there we're going to get headsets. It's an earphone and a small radio. So this one is your responsibility. Okay, so everyone has it. It's gonna be in your neck all day, but don't lose it. only just use it, and then when we have to return it, I will let you know. I will collect. Okay, so in case you lose it, there is a price to pay. I don't even want to tell you. So make sure don't lose it. The headphones you can keep. Okay, you get brand new headphones that you can use. It's a cheap one, not a big thing, but you already paid for it. So this is for you, souvenir. Okay, so during the walking tour, you have the headset inside earpiece in your ear, so you can listen to the guide explaining. So in the same time, also we are walking, and we're stopping at certain spots where you take photos. I know you guys are crazy about the photos. Of course, you need to have them. So you will have always the space and the time to take it. Okay, but I will stay behind the group, so to make sure nobody is lagging behind. Okay, it's very important, guys, in Rome to keep together as a group, because sometimes you have the thieves coming. They want to act like tourists. They also dress like the tourists, but they want to try to get close to groups and walk inside a group and try to snatch you up. Okay, so but I always remind you of this, and I am there for you guys as protection throughout the walking tour. So from the walking tour, first section is walking from the Colosseum, and also we're going to see the altar, Vittorio Emanuele II, the Roman Forum, and we're going to see the Pantheon as well after the Trevi Fountain. So first section of the walking tour is about 1 hour, and it's not a long distance between the Colosseum and the Trevi Fountain, but we have a short walking here and there. And once we reach the area of the Trevi Fountain, which is the most famous, iconic place and the most beautiful fountain of Rome. Okay, so Fontana di Trevi. This is going to be our first stop in the walking tour, where we have a bit of free time to use the restrooms. You can buy some coffee, some gelato, and after that we are good to go for the next. Okay, so here, guys, you can see this beautiful river. It's the principal river of the city of Rome, called the river Tiber. Tiber. This was the only thing I was mentioning about the. Yeah, so this is where the history of the 2,000-year-old, more than 2,000-year-old city begins. Because you know, water is the most important for life, and for every city, you will have to have a fresh source of water, and so this is why one of the largest city grew here. And also we are not very far from the sea, actually. Okay, so the Mediterranean is not far away if you would drive down. Okay, yeah. So after finishing up at the Trevi Fountain, we are walking towards the Pantheon. If we have the time and the chance, we also go inside the Pantheon. Pantheon is the oldest church in Rome. The Pantheon. It was built by the Romans. Okay, it's a very beautiful ancient Roman structure. Very amazing. We're going to see that from the inside, if we can, and then we continue onwards toward the area of St. Peter's, where the Vatican is. So if everything goes as planned, around 11:30-ish, we'll be reaching our last point of the walking tour, which is going to be at St. Peter's Square. Okay, Piazza San Pietro is gonna be the last stop on our walking tour. Before that, also we see the Castel San Angelo, the beautiful medieval structure with the angel on top. It's very famous as well. Hadrian's mausoleum. Hadrian was one of the emperors, and he had this built for his burial. This is a huge castle, which was also used in medieval times as the last fortress for the Pope when the enemy was attacking the city of Rome. Okay, so this was a very impenetrable fortress. That is also what we're going to see later on, before reaching into the Vatican. Inside the Vatican, which is another city, we also have the time to spend for our lunch. Okay, and of course, in this time you have the time to buy some souvenirs as well if you're looking for something